First of all, take a look and tell me what you think. What do you see needs to be done around here? The trees look pretty good, right?
Yeah, we asked her to move her wood pile last year, and she did. She trimmed her palm trees. They look great.
Well done.
So what we're going to do then is we're going to start over here at this corner,
Okay.
and then we'll work our way around the house in that direction.
Okay.
We're going to start right here.
Okay.
We'll start at the ground level. And what we see here is that there's no combustible vegetation right up against the house. And the concern is that underneath the stucco is a weep screed that has small holes in it. And if there was anything combustible right up against the foundation, the heat could make it up underneath the stucco and into the walls. And then, of course, the walls are fully stuccoed, pretty fire resistant. And underneath the eaves, there's no eave vents. There's no easy path for the heat or the embers to get up into the attic to start the attic on fire. Even above that, entrances to the tile are mortared in such a way to prevent birds from entering. That's what that's called, is bird stopping. It has a secondary effect of keeping the embers from getting up underneath the air spaces in the tile. So here we are at the front porch. The concern with the front porch is a couple-fold, primarily the redwood siding over here, and where the embers would land if there's an ember storm impacting the house. And so you can see at the bottom of the siding there's a gap, which is really good because those embers are going to land on the flat surface and build up against the tile. We have this gap at the bottom where there's room for the embers to hit the horizontal surface and build up against the vertical surface of the tile and not impact the redwood at that point. And then the other concerns that we have underneath a space like this is anything that might be combustible. In particular, in here, we have some leaves, which could potentially ignite with the embers. And of course, we have the boxes with plastic. If these were to be burning, the fire would be contained in here, and that would definitely bring the house down. And of course, all the way even over there, the potted plant in the corner is a potential source of a small fire that would grow to a larger fire. Now at this point is where we typically instruct our homeowners about what I call the kitchen match idea. The kitchen match idea is, can you walk around your house with an imaginary kitchen match? If you were to strike that imaginary match, could you light something on fire that would grow to a larger fire and take the house? The kitchen match would certainly ignite the leaves. You could ignite the plastic, the cardboard box, the potted plant in the corner. All of those things would be something that, if you thought about it in terms of using the kitchen match, you would probably want to remove from the house in preparation for a fire. Up here, it looks like there was a leak in the roof, and there's some rotted wood. Rotted wood like that, or wood that's been eaten by termites, is extremely susceptible to embers because it's very dry, it's very thin, and it's very easy to ignite. If there's wood rot in the roof area of the house, your house is vulnerable to an ember ignition.
Kind of leads right to the attic.
It kind of leads right exactly to the attic. And that's one of the main places that we want to keep the fire out of. If the fire gets into the attic, there's not a lot we can do about it. Particularly if there's a large wildland fire going on, there's not going to be a lot of resources. Being able to get into the attic to fight the fire isn't going to happen in the event of a big wildland fire.
What's the ideal height of the tile base?
I would say it should be a minimum of 6 inches. And I've seen embers collect from a fire into like a tiny little snowdrift in the corner, up to maybe 3 inches tall or something like that. They don't really have a lot of energy, and so there's not a large gap that's necessary, but you don't want them to collect in large numbers up against a wooden surface, particularly a wooden surface like this that's older and drier, easier to ignite than say a hardy board surface or stucco or something like that. I always try to tell everybody, particularly in fire season, everything that might be flammable should be away from the house, and particularly not underneath a protrusion from the house like this porch. Things like patio furniture, the cushions on the patio furniture, the cover on the barbecue, the wood pile. In this particular case, the homeowner has moved her wood pile all the way out to the fence, which is awesome. But a lot of times we'll see somebody will have a small stack of logs right here. When you're trying to start a fire in the fireplace and you have a big log like this, you think you can never get that to light. In a wildland fire, when it's dry and windy and the embers come, I've seen logs that are 10 inches in diameter catch fire from that. And if you had a little pile of logs in here, there would be more than enough heat energy to get through these walls and up into the attic and take the house down. One of the things I want to point out here is this little patch of rosemary that we have. It's well away from the house, about 4 feet away from the house, which is really, really good. But these plants in general are relatively unsafe to have close to the house because of their high resin content. They burn really, really well. And then also inside, there's always lots of dead leaves. And embers landing in this will ignite this whole bed pretty rapidly. And there's a lot of fire load that could be right here. And so hers are trimmed and small, which is really good. We try to recommend these kind of plants not be too close to the house for exactly that reason.